model viewer. Let's go look. Oh, so let's get the 3D model of the actual game card. Oh, and if you want to watch the videos, okay. I'm curious about the AI upscaling the hard way. That sounds kind of interesting. Let's hear about this. It's 6 minutes, so might as well, you know?
So when it came to actually AI upscaling this game, that was a gigantic task that I don't think I was fully prepared for, but when I came into the company, I was the only one that had true kind of involvement in the AI scene. I'd worked in Japan, and in Japan I'd worked very closely with the advent of AI upscaling in anime and then visual novels as well. I had dabbled a little bit into doing real photographs, and generally that is not great. Even today, as we're recording this, it hadn't really gotten to where I needed it to be. And that was a big problem because we had about 800 images that then needed to go from 640 by 480 index colored BMP images into fully upscaled, clear photographs. So when I sat down to plan this out, the company, Limited Run Games, had already tried their hand at using kind of conventional AI upscaling applications. There are some out there, they're very good. And the results that came from that was kind of twofold. So you could absolutely see there is something here. Trees, shrubbery, this kind of stuff, what's being reproduced, but characters, objects, things that very much catches your eye was plasticky and kind of, it looked like everyone was just wrapped in some sort of protective rubber. This is making everyone look much more icky, and we can't go over this. There was another AI model that had been put into use, and it made everyone come out like kind of fried chicken texture. And I was like, I don't think this is going the right direction. So what I decided to do was, I have the connections to get in touch with the actress. One thing I talked to Jeannie was, hey, I want to try something out here. I want to do an AI upscale. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach or feed my own AI model and basically have it recognize you. But I need a lot of references. Can I use images of you? And can you supply them to me? And she was very happy. She was kind of like, this is really cool. And so we started to get to work. And it took me about 3 weeks to really create a model that I was satisfied with. The problem I had now introduced was that I had a model that was very good at recognizing Jeannie, but it made also Edward look like Jeannie. So I had to go contact him and say, basically, hey, I need a lot of images of you. And luckily, Edward also had a modeling career, so that was no problem. And feed the AI again, reconstruct the images. Now everyone looked like Edward much more. So what happened in the end was, basically I had 3 different AI models. One for Edward, one for Jeannie, one for backgrounds. The other actors were fairly prominent in their scenes so that the AI could do an approximation and I could hand edit all the inconsistencies. But for the general images, what I did was I ran a batch process once for every person and then once for the backgrounds. I would take those results and actually composite them together from their individual sources into one image and kind of edit around each layer and find, okay, this one did a better job reproducing this, this, and this. Together would form the full scene. That wasn't enough though. What was kind of becoming clear to me halfway in, I would say like 8 to 9 months kind of into all this, even though those original images are very low quality, they still retain kind of like a color temperature and overall quality of a 90s photograph, like a Kodak moment. Because this game is just a sequence of Kodak moments. So what I did was basically scan my own family albums, a lot of pictures from different times. You scan them at a high DPI. You go in real close. What happens? Well, you start to see what is kind of the grain, how colors are blending together. And I went in and I made a custom filter that reproduced that look, that feel, to then batch process on top of the images I now reconstructed. Problem now was a lot of those old images that I had basically reconstructed 6 and 7 months prior had color balances that was out of sync with what I now needed for this new filter, which was then going to like reproduce that look. All in all, it took about, I'd say about a year from the first image to the very last one to get this all in. But as you can see in the game, I think what we managed to do was even better than actually scanning the individual images that was taken back then. And the reason why we couldn't even do that was that the original production was done on 4 different cameras. Through someone on production, Giovanni, we realized the game